Previously, I have made a course review of a course where you learn to create a snake game in Python. And there were a few things that were not really made efficient or made readable for programmers, which is a really important aspect, that you create code that is readable by humans. So what I did is that I took a lot of code and I put it in functions. So instead of having a lot of calls in this while loop, what I did is that I took the pieces that were not dependent on other pieces. So for example, let's go to tracking event. Here you can see tracking event. This runs a for loop and else if statement, and it changes the value of change to depending on what key was pressed. And that I could put in a function, and same with validate direction. This prevents the player from turning right if you're going to the left, and the same thing, if you're going to the right, it will not let you turn to the left, because doing so would equal to game over. Because if you hit yourself, like if you bite your tail, you lose the game. And the same with choose direction. Here it actually changes the direction. And the snake body was a lot of code. I don't know if I can break it up, but I believe I shouldn't, because I'm using a lot of variables. Because in Python you have to type global to actually use a global variable inside a function. Now these I could not put in the function because they are needed here every time. I could make a separate function used for these three, but that wouldn't really be that readable, because I believe this is more readable than having them in a function, because then you have to go to that function and see what the function does. And if you would add more code that affects this, then you need to add a function. But I do not want to make this in its own function, so that's what I've done, and let's actually run and play a game. I corrected a lot of errors while doing this. And you see game over, and now it closes. And I added, it says pygame exiting and console exiting, because if you get game over, first we quit the pygame and then we quit the system. And I added this variable, so the value 10 was used a lot, and the same with game width and game height. So I added variables to track the height of the window, or actually store the height of the window. And I added a variable named 10 because I used the value 10 a lot. So instead of having like only 76 here, it's now the dynamic. So first I take 720 and then I divide it by 10, and it gives me a whole number, a number that I can multiply by 10, because I don't want a number that is like 11. I want a number that is 1, then multiply it by 10, so I receive the value 10. Because you don't want like 15, 16, 179. You want to have a number like 200, 250, 240. So that's dynamic, and that's something as well. Making the code dynamic doesn't always mean that there is less code, and the same with the game height. So that's basically what I updated, and I believe that you can do a lot. You can add a menu, you can add some formal levels. So you can do pretty much what you want, but I'm not going to do that because I wanted to take this course, create this game, and refactor the code like I usually do. So this was pretty fun. I did run into some issues because I haven't really learned Python before. I just followed this course and try to understand everything. So that is all for this video. Thank you for watching, and my name is Erik and I'm from shackledevelopers.com. Thank you for watching.